Wild, which is adapted by Nick Hornby, did the screenplay from...
Is there some music with this which we can add to our playlist?
There is a lot of music. You've seen Wild, haven't you?
Yes.
There is a lot of music in it. There's some Simon and Garfunkel, which I like very much. We can probably add that to the playlist, but I don't know if that's in the clip.
You see, I don't...
What?
Yeah.
What?
I don't think the Simon and Garfunkel track worked at all.
Oh. All right.
And
Can I just do a little setup of the movie before we start just talking about whether the thing doesn't work?
Okay, yeah, go.
Okay, and then you can go to it. So, sorry, I mean...
No, carry on.
Movie review show, Kermode and May's film review. Just mention it in passing. There we go.
You mentioned Simon and Garfunkel.
Yeah.
What?
Zipit.com, okay?
Oh,
just
hark at him.
Based on Cheryl...
Just chose the wrong track, that's all. If they'd used, let's say, Only Living Boy in New York. Okay, carry on.
Finished? Based on Cheryl Strayed's memoir, Wild, From Lost to Found on the Pacific Crest Trail. So the story is that Reese Witherspoon is a young woman whose life has variously fallen apart, and she decides that she is going to walk 1,000 miles, actually slightly more than 1,000 miles, along the Pacific Crest Trail from the Mojave Desert through California, Oregon to the borders of Washington State in order to become the woman her mother thought she was. And as she walks, the film, which is directed by Jean-Marc Vallée, sort of drifts back to her life with her mother, who is this very sort of positive character played by Laura Dern, to her home life, which starts to fall apart and is in the wake of tragedy with drug addiction and recklessness, which causes everything about her life to completely collapse. And whilst she's doing the walk, she's so on the one hand, it's one of those kind of classic Hollywood journey of spiritual discovery movies that makes you think it's Eat, Pray, Love, Vomit, but it is so far the other way. Very, very early on, we see Reese Witherspoon's character lifting an infected toenail, which is wince-inducing and kind of sets the tone for the rest of the movie, that it's not going to be all to do with let's just go on some sort of scenic, psychotourism thing. It's much tougher than that. She spends an awful lot of it on her own, but she also meets some people en route.
You get lonely?
Honestly, I think I'm lonelier in my real life than I am out here. As I miss my friends, of course, but it's not like I really have anybody waiting for me at home. How about you? Why are you here?
I don't know. I just need to find something in myself, I think the trail is good for that. I mean, look, this has the power to fill you up again if you let it.
My mother used to say something that drove me nuts. There's a sunrise and a sunset every day, and you can choose to be there for it. You can put yourself in the way of beauty.
My kind of woman.
And that, if anything, is kind of the furthest it ever goes towards twee, because for a lot of the movie, it's a lot tougher and a lot rougher. We are playing you a clip that is suitable for the time of day. What I liked about it, firstly, I think Reese Witherspoon is terrific. She plays a number of different ages during the movie, and I thought she did that really well. I mean, she is a mercurial presence. You do actually get the sense that you are dropping in and out of different segments, different sections of her life. Although she is still very young when she's doing the PCT trail. Also, it's directed by Jean-Marc Vallée, who I've always liked as a filmmaker, who has this way of. It's almost like he plays the scenes of a movie like he's shuffling a deck of cards, and you get past and present sort of lapping over each other like kind of waves on a woozy beach. And there's this strange sense to the soundscape of the film, which is that you have the ambient sound as you heard there, but you also get these interruptions of pop music playing, some of it sung by the central character, some of it sort of apparently playing in the background, some of it seems to be being played on headphones. Actually, I thought the soundscape of the movie was fascinating. It is how one experiences music, through memories and through hearing and through, there is something weirdly sort of sensual and sensory about that soundscape. Also, in the moments in which it's dealing with the things in her past life that she is trying to come to terms with, it's down and dirty when it needs to be. It's not some horribly prettified account of somebody just feeling a little bit lost in the world and thinking that they need to go on a journey of self-discovery. It feels more earnest, that you do feel that you are, walking a mile in somebody else's shoes. And you do get the sense, I mean, it's interesting with Jean-Marc Vallée, because of course he got Oscar-winning performances out of Matthew McConaughey and Jared Leto for Dallas Buyers Club just recently. And he does have a very, very good way with actors. The film is produced by Reese Witherspoon's Pacific Standard Company, and she's, which was developed to find more interesting roles for women. And it looks like she's in control of it. It looks like she's, really confident with the material, and it's engaging and involving. And it reminded me to some extent of Tracks, which I've revisited. I mean, I liked Tracks a lot when it came out, and I think I was slightly I think I slightly undervalued it when I reviewed it. I went back and checked my review again, and actually it's grown in stature.
I don't remember Tracks.
Well, Tracks is with Mia Wasikowska, and it's a story about, true story, going across huge expanses with camels, and it's a kind of voyage of self-discovery, but it's I think it's actually more. It's funnily enough, it's stuck with me, and I do think, people often say to you, do you reassess movies later on? It's not even necessarily to do with going back and watching them again. It's just to do with thinking about them and realizing that you've thought about them more than perhaps you thought you would at the time that you were watching them, and it's lacking in that overcooked tragi-romantic thing that Into the Wild has, which is a weirdly kind of, macho story of self-discovery and self-destruction. And it doesn't have that. I mean, in a way, you could kind of see Into the Wild and Wild as perhaps companion pieces. But I thought this and Tracks together were, very strong stories in which you do get to watch somebody define their own existence. And yes, the scenery is eye-catching, but actually what you're really engaged with is the internal scenery. Now tell me what's wrong with the Simon and Garfunkel.
I think I just thought it was the only bit that was cheesy.
Because?
Wasn't needed, didn't feel appropriate to where they were, what they were doing.
Okay.
It felt as though, I like that track, let's get it in.
Okay, but didn't you think that
almost as though they had their own playlist that,
Okay, all right. I thought it was a kind of a bit of a defining note, but then the other opinions are available, and it's just interesting that you really didn't like it.
I love Simon. No, I love the film. I think the film is terrific.
No, you didn't like that particular song.
I thought it was an odd choice.